Hello, welcome to Advanced Algebra to Test Corrections. If you do hear my baby in the background, just know it will only be temporary. All right, so anyway, let's go to this question. So the side length of a rectangle in its perimeter is shown in the graph. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to get my Epic pen here. Ignore. And as I see that all my y values are greater than or equal to, because it's a closed circle, all than 4. Okay. We can also write it like this: y value is greater than or equal to 4. You just have to know that all the y's are greater than if you look here at the graph. So when I'm answering this, the range of the function of the situation is all y values are greater than or equal to, because it's a closed circle, then we're going to put 4. Okay, next question. So for a limited time, Sammy's gas station is offering a discount on the cost of gasoline. When the amounts are greater than 5 gallons, when the amounts greater than 5 gallons are purchased, the table below shows the cost for the different amounts of gasoline. So we know that we have this table here, and I know that every time we have to see what's the difference between $13.90 and $11.25. Now I can do this by hand all day, but I'm not. I'm going to grab my calculator. It's right here. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 13.9 minus 11 point. Oh, whoopsie, I messed up. See, you always got to check your work. Minus 11.25. And I get 2.65. So this is going to be 2.65. Now I can add that to, I can say, hey, let me see. If I add the 2 plus 13.9, what do I get? 16.55. So I'm adding 2.65. And I bet if I add 2.65 to 16.55, I get 19.2. Okay, so I know every time I'm adding 2.65. So my change in y is going to be 2.65. Okay, so my change in y is going to be 2.65. And my change in x here is going to be 1. I see it's going to be 1 every time. 5, 6, 7, 8. Every time we're adding 1, we're going up by 1. We're going up by 1. So I know my slope is going to be 2.65. So right then, I can cross out this one and this one. Now I got to see, does it have a y-intercept? Okay, and now we can put this in point slope formula, which is what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to do y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay, now we have a few of our ingredients. We have our slope, which is going to be 2.65. We know that's going to be our m here. I have x. My x1, I'm going to use 5. I'm going to put minus 5. This is going to be my x1. And my y1 is going to be 11.25. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to do distributive properties. So I'm going to multiply this 2.65 to each term, and I see what I get. I know this is going to be 2 2.65x. I'm going to multiply that 2.65 times -5. I'm going to get negative 13.5. So I'm going to do negative 13 point, was it negative 13.5? I got to check. Make sure. 25. I would have messed it up. And then I have, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, it does. Okay. Then I'm going to add, whoopsie. We have y minus 11.25. Then I got to add 11.25 to both sides. I was getting ahead of myself. Oh my God. And I know off the back that I do have a y-intercept, and it's going to be, my equation is going to be, this cancels out, it's going to be y equals 2.65x minus, because this is going to be a 0, this is going to be a 0, this is going to be -2. So it's going to be -2. So my answer is going to be B. Okay. All right, next is question 3. All right, and this is another point slope formula. So the first thing I got to do is I got to find the slope. So I'm going to find this. I know I'm going to use my x and y intercepts. That's my x-intercept. That's my y-intercept. And I know that I'm going to be rising 4. And I'm going to be running 8. So my rise over run is going to be 4 over 8, which can be simplified down to 1/2. So now I can go and cancel out the ones I know it's not going to be. Okay, so we know it's not going to be those two. And now it says there's 2 correct answers. 2 correct answers. So now that we know what our slope is, I'm going to find the ordered pair that we need to know. So a good way to do that is, our formula is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. We can derive our ordered pairs from this. So I know this is going to be 4, -2, because this is going from a negative to a positive, and we can only do that if the y is a negative. So I know I need to look for this ordered pair. This is going to be -4, -6. We got to see if that point is on the line. And then we got to see if the point 4 and 6 is on the line. So we got to look for those points. Now I see 4, -2. That is on the line. So this is a correct answer. I also see -4, -6. That's also on the line. So this is a correct answer. And I see, I'm just going to do this one for kicks and giggles, 4 and 6. That's all the way up here. That's not on the line. So therefore it is not correct. All right. Next question. Number 4. Hayden is purchasing tickets to a local play. Tickets for the balcony cost $65 and are 80% off balcony seats. So balcony seats, I see here, cost $65. So I'm going to put BS for balcony seats, and we know that's $65. Okay. Standing tickets, ooh, standing. That's no fun. I'm just going to put stand because drawing on a computer is not as easy as it looks, is 80% off the balcony tickets. So I know that to find standing, I'm going to have to do 65, and I'm going to have to multiply it by 0.8, okay, to get my answer. Okay, I'm going to do that later. Write an inequality that can be used to represent all possible combinations of X balcony seats. So we know this is going to be represented as X. I'm going to put this in blue. Balcony seats are X, and Y standing tickets. Okay, so Hayden has to that Hayden can purchase with $500. So she can't spend more than $500. So it has to be less than or equal to $500. Okay, so we know balcony seats cost 65x. And what's 65 times 0.8? I'm going to get my calculator and I'm going to do 65 times 0.8. And see, it's going to be $52. So standing seats are going to be $52. Ooh. So our equation has to look something like this. So now we can go to the sentence and we have 65x, and then this has to be 52y, and then this has to be less than or equal to 500. All right. Next, 5. All right. So choose the correct answers for each row below. All right, so I'm going to do the easiest ones first because that's the way I roll. So I know for sure that negative 3/4 is a slope because it's next to x, okay? And I know that this is going to be 4/3 because it's next to x. So I got those out of the way. Now we're going to do these. And I always like to do a tiny table, so I make my tiny table. Whoop, whoop, x and y. I have -9 and 4. And I have -12 and 8. So I know here for this one, I am going up 4. So this is going to be +4. So my change in y is going to be 4. And my change in x is going to be -3. It's becoming bigger, so it's going to be -3. So I know that the slope for this first one is going to be -4/3. All right, now we're going to do this one here at the bottom, and I'm going to do this in pink. And this is going to be x and y. I stack my numbers like pancakes, 12 and 12, and 8 and 15. And here, we're going to be going up, so we're going to be adding 3, and then we're going to be subtracting 4. So this is going to be 3, -4. So the slope here is going to be -3/4. All right. Next, 6. All right. Drag and drop the correct answer choice to each of the answer bank. The water level in a tank is changing at a constant rate. The graph below shows the relationship between X hours and the water level in meters Y. So I know that X is going to be hours at the bottom. So I know my change in X is going to be representing hours. I'm going to put HR for hours. And then my change in Y is going to be representing water level, or I'm going to put meters. So I know it's going to be decreasing, and we got to figure out what rate. So we start at 9, and then my slope is going to be I'm rising 1, and I'm running 4. So I know that every 4 hours, it's decreasing 1 meter. Okay, so now I can look here. So complete the statement that describes the rate of change of the water level with respect to time. Move the correct answer to each box. Note all answers will be used. So the water level decreases because it's going down. And I know 1/4 the same is going to be the same as 0.25 meters per hour. Okay. Now, next, question 7. All right. So a painter total earnings from a job include a fixed amount plus the amount based on the number of hours worked. The values in the table describe the linear relationship between the number of hours worked and the painter's total earnings. So we have to figure out what those things are. All right, so I am going to be cheap and I'm going to only do 2 numbers because that's a lot of numbers and I'm not doing all that. All right, so I'm going to look at the first 2 boxes, and I'm doing that because this isn't a correlation coefficient. And 9 times out of 10, they're not trying to make you do the whole table, but you can. No, I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to do the whole table. My goodness, y'all convinced me. So we're going at 5 each time. So I know that we're going up 5 each time. I know my y is going to be going up probably the same. So I'm going to grab my calculator. So I know for painter 2, I'm going to do painter 2 in blue. And my change in x is going to be 5. And then I'm going to do my change in y. Why am I doing that in pink? My change in y is going to be a number. I'm not sure yet. Let me get my calculator. Is going to be, we're going to do 262.5 minus 85. And that's going to be 177.5. So my change in y is going to be 177.5. Now to get my earnings for painter 1, I'm going to put that in my calculator. I'm going to do 177.5 divided by 5. And I know that we know that painter 1 is going to be getting $35.50 an hour. And I see that. So I'm going to put that in the box here. Now we're going to do painter 2. I'm going to do painter 2 in pink. And same thing. I see that it's going up 5 each time. See 5, 5, 5, and 5. So my change in x is going to be 5. Now I got to do my change in y here. Blah, blah, blah. It's probably going to be the same. So I'm going to do 281. 281.25 minus 70. And we see we get 211.25. So we're going to put that up top. 211.25. And that is going to be my change in y. And now we're going to see what they make. So I'm going to grab my calculator again. And I'm going to divide this by 5. And I see he gets paid $42.25 per hour. And then we got those 2 things. All right, question 8. All right, so plot each exact point. If you hear that noise, that's my cat. Plot each exact point on the coordinate grid. A line will connect the points. So Desiree drops a ball from the top of the building as a part of her experiment. The height of the ball above the ground can be found using the linear function. I cannot read. Okay, where x represents the time in seconds the ball's in the air. Create a graph that shows how many seconds it will take the ball to hit the ground. Now, we're going to know that we can't graph y equals negative 3x plus 12. But what we can do is we can grab our calculator and we can type this in here into decimals. It's right here. So I can do 3x, which is what I'm going to do. 3x, oh, negative 3x. Negative 3x, okay, plus 12. Oh, we have the line. And then here's a cool thing. You can press gear table and you get some points. So that's awesome. So I'm going to get some points that I can graph. I can't graph 0 to 12, but I can graph 1 and 9. Sure can. And I can graph 2 and 6. Sure can. So I'm going to graph those 2 points. So I'm going to go ahead, exit this out now that I have that information. And I'm put it on here. So I know I have 1 and 9. That's 1 point. Put it there. And I have 2 and 6. And there's my line. That's it. That's all you have to do. All right. Number 9. All right. So the graph of a function g contains the points negative 2 and 2 and 4 and 5. Complete the statement. So we need a slope and the y-intercept. So I'm going to put this in point slope formula after I find the slope. Okay. So we have my tiny table, x and y. I have negative 2, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, here I'm going to be adding 3. And then here I'm going to be adding 6. Okay, so I know that my slope is going to be 1/2. So I already know my slope is going to be 1/2. Okay, so I can plug that in there so I don't forget. Then I'm going to put this in point slope formula, which is going to be y minus y1 equals m. And we're going to do x minus x1. Okay. So I'm going to use 4 and 5 because they're both positive and I won't mess it up as easy. So I'm going to go to y minus 4 here equals, we have 1/2 as the slope, and x minus, oh, I messed up. See, I messed up already. Okay, this is supposed to be 5. I'm sorry. See, gotta check your work. We all make mistakes. Minus 4. Okay, then I'm going to use distributive property. Okay, so I know this is going to be 1/2 x. This is going to be negative 2 because 1/2 times negative 4 is negative 2. And it's going to be y minus 5. Then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Boop, boop. That's a plus. And I know my equation is going to be y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So my y-intercept is 3. So I'm going to put 3 there. And that is how you solve it. Look, question 10. Okay, so on the following graphs, y is less than or equal to ax plus b. So if y is less than, that means it's going to be shaded below the line. It's either going to look like that or look like that. So it's going to be shaded below. And it's going to be a solid line, not a dotted line. So let's go through our graphs and see which one it can be. Okay. So is there more than one? Can we pick more than one? One of the graphs, y is less than or equal to, for some positive a and b and positive b. So it has to be a positive a and a positive b. So it has to be a positive slope. This is a dumb question, but you know what? I didn't make it, so I can't be mad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of all the negative slopes. Negative slope, and negative slope. So all the negative slopes are gone. So I know, oh, that's a negative slope. So it can't be a negative slope. Okay, so it has to be positive slope. Now, we also know it can't have a negative y-intercept. So that has to go. Okay, and you're only left with one answer left, which is A. So it didn't even need no, it need to be shaded above or below. It need to be shaded below. But if you can know that the slope had to be positive and the y-intercept had to be positive, you can just do process of elimination for this one. All right, question 11. Okay. A customer is buying bath towels and hand towels and can spend no more than $100. So they can't spend any more than $100. Okay. Each bath towel costs $8 each. Bath is X. I'm going to put X equals bath just so I know. And the hand towel costs $5. So Y equals hand towel. So put Y as hand. So I know. The inequality here represents all possible combinations of X, the number of bath towels, and Y, the number of hand towels the customers can buy. Which graph best represents the solution of the inequality? So I know that I have to get Y by itself. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to rewrite this equation. Sorry, that's so ugly. And I'm going to have 8X plus 5Y. Okay. I'm going to subtract both sides, 8x. And I'm going to cancel this out. So now I'm left with 5y is less than or equal to 100 minus 8x. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. I'm going to divide each term by 5. And now let me cancel out so I know y is less than or equal to, that means it's going to be shaded below. And then 100 divided by 5 is going to be 20. And then we know it's going to be negative 8/5 x. So now I can do process of elimination. I know it can't be this one because that's a dotted line. And it can't be this one because that's a dotted line. And then I know it needs to be shaded below the y. Okay. So, because it can't be greater than 100. So the only one it can be is that one. Okay. Now, 12. Okay, the table below shows the number of minutes a student spends studying for an upcoming math test and the number of errors the student makes on that math test. Choose the correct answer for each drop-down menu to complete the statement. So this is a linear regression question. So I'm gonna grab my calculator, I'm gonna clear it out. I'm gonna do second plus 7, 1, 2. Yay, all clear. I'm going to first click mode. Okay, I'm going to click mode. I'm going to go all the way down to stack diagnostic. Bop, bop. Turn that on. Yay. Then we're going to press stat, enter, and we're going to enter in the table. So, minutes. Hey, Google, stop. We're going to put the minutes here. So I'm going to do 60, 20, 30, 50, 25, 55, 10, 35, 45, 60. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do the frequency chart. So we're going to do the number of errors. 0, 5, 3, 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 1, 1. Then we're going to press stat. We're going to go to calc. We go down to 4. And then we go down to store reg. Once you get here, you're going to do alpha trace. And then you're going to get the Y's and you're going to press enter, enter, enter. And now we have our information, right? So the correlation coefficient for the data indicates that there is so I see the R is strong and it's negative. So I'm going to put a strong negative correlation. All right, question 13. All right. So here I see that there is a thing. So we're going up by 7 here. Then I'm going to go up by 4. Then I'm going to go up by 3. So this is another correlation coefficient question. So we're going to put this in the calculator as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do second quit. And I'm going to do stat. Enter. And the reason why I know it's correlation coefficient because this is going up by 1 every time, but these are going up by different y's. So we got to see what linear regression would look like. So we're going to press enter. I'm going to go up, clear the table, go down, go across, up, clear the table, and then go down. Okay. And then I'm going to enter my data. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Then I'm going to go over my other table and I'm going to do 30, 37, 41, 44. Then I'm going to press stat. I'm going to go over to calc. I'm going to go down, press 4. I'm going to do enter, enter, enter. You really don't need to store reg, but if you want to do it, go ahead. You do alpha, trace, enter, enter, enter. And now we have our equation. Woo! So we know that this is going to be 4.6. It's going to be positive. So this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And this would be our answer. Okay. Now we have an equation. So we have to, we're going to first do distributive property here. So I know that 3/4 times -8 is going to be 6p. If you don't believe me, you can definitely check my work with the calculator. Actually, because I'm wrong, it's going to be negative 6p. It's positive. And then it's going to be negative 3/4 equals, I'm going to plug in my phantom 1 and I'm going to distribute. This is going to be positive 8 here plus 8. And this is going to be negative 4p. That's a p. Please forgive my computer handwriting. And then this is going to be negative 3/4 p. All right. So now I'm going to combine like terms. So I don't know about you. I'm lazy and I'm going to just use my calculator to combine my fractions. So I'm going to do second quit to get out of the screen. Then I'm going to do alpha x to get the fraction. I'm going to do -3/4 here. And I'm going to do -4. And I'm going to get -19/4. And that's what I'm going to write here. -19/4 p plus 8 equals -6p and then -3/4. Now, I don't know who taught you how to do equations, but I know I really don't like to work with fractions. And if I can avoid it, I am. So I'm going to multiply everything in this equation by 4 after I combine like terms. Okay, so everything is going to be multiplied by 4 so I can get rid of these fractions because I don't like working with them. So this is going to be -19p. Yay! That's a 19. And then 4 times 8 is going to be plus 32 equals 4 times 6 is going to be negative 24p. And then 4 times negative 3/4 is just going to be negative 3. And now that I have that, I can easily work with this equation. It's a lot more friendly. I'm going to add 24p to both sides. And now I can cancel out this. This is going to be 5p plus 32 equals negative 3. Then I'm going to subtract 32 from both sides. So we have 5p equals negative 35. I'm going to divide 5 from both sides. And I know that p equals negative 7. So we're going to type in negative 7. And that would have been your answer. All right, next question. Last question. We have this equation here. And we're going to do distributive property. At least we don't have rational numbers. This is going to be 10w. 4 times 5, is going to be 20. Equals 4 times 2 is going to be 8w. And 4 times 9 is going to be 36. Okay. I'm going to draw my railroad tracks. I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. And we had 10w equals 8w plus 16. Then I'm going to subtract 8w from both sides. This is going to be 2w equals 16. Divide 2 from both sides. And w equals 8. Oh, and there it goes. All right, guys. Make sure you watch this video. Make sure you show all work. The reason why I made a video is because I'm not going to be able to stay super late for tutoring. So I wanted to make sure that you got all the content and not have to sacrifice me having to leave because I have a little one and the daycare closes at a certain time and I have to be there. So just letting you know. Have a good day, guys. Bye.